to ride from the very start. It began well enough with a Week 1 victory over Tampa Bay featuring a rejuvenated ground attack. But then 3 tough defeats followed, culminating with a heartbreaking overtime loss to Chicago, where the Jets squandered an apparent victory, leaving them a frustrated 1-3 team. But just as quickly, the season took an upturn with wins over Miami and Cleveland to bring New York to the 500 mark and back into contention. Then last week, the underdog Jets blew a 10-0 lead and were sacked by the powerful Oilers. So as they reach the halfway point in this up-and-down season, today against the winless Colts, the question is, which Jet team will show up?
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Hoosier Dome. It is absolutely gorgeous outside, a beautiful autumn day, and of course, the weather is perfect inside. I'm Charlie Jones, along with Todd Christensen, and a chance today to look at the New York Jets, perhaps the most talked about team in the National Football League. Everybody very impressed the way they're playing this year.
Well, I think they've been very competitive, and has been proven by the last 4 weeks. They took 3 of the prominent teams in the NFL down to the wire. Of course, everybody remembers the Monday night game with Chicago that they should have won. Buffalo, they lost on a great 4th down pass by Jim Kelly, and of course, they played the Houston Oilers even near to the end last week. So I agree with you. This is a definitely up-and-coming team.
But Bruce Costin says this may be their toughest game of all because this is a team that they should beat.
Well, that's exactly right. I don't think they can remember the time when they were a prohibitive favorite like they were today, and it's very difficult to play when you got nothing to gain. Everybody expects you to win.
What about the Colts? Do they have any chance at all?
Yeah, I think they have a chance.
No, wait, do you really?
Sure I do, and the reason I say that is because of the fact that...
Tell me why.
Well, as a player, Charlie, the kind of games like this are great because you have absolutely nothing to lose. You know, everybody's got kind of a sense of humor. It's been Murphy's Law where the Colts are concerned. They're 0-7, and the players just say, hey, what do we have to lose? Let's go out there and let it all hang out.
Well, their head coach seems to be enjoying it when we visited with him yesterday.
Well, again, here's a guy that has nothing to lose. You know, it's kind of an interim situation there for Rick Venturi. He's somebody who's not exactly on the spot. He's somebody that just wants to go out there and have a little fun. You know, he comes from a coaching background, and he realizes that there are some difficult times ahead, but he's going to do what he can with the break coming up next week to kind of make the repairs where the Colts are concerned.
Interesting note, the Colts have won 7 of the last 8 games between these two teams. They have won the last 4 straight. And sometimes, Todd, you have had this happen in your career. You know, there's certain teams just play exceptionally well against other teams.
Well, when we talked with Bruce Coslet, that was what he was very concerned about. He said that we can't take these guys for granted. You mentioned the fact that they had lost 4 straight games, and I think the players are cognizant of that as well, that sometimes the matchups are in favor of one side, even though it looks like they may not be victorious.
New York Jets will kick it away. And the Colts will have first opportunity. From the end zone, here is Clarence Verdun on the return. And he is out near the 20-yard line. We'll take a look at that Colt offense. And offensive line, they have had 8 different offensive lines in this being their 8th game. They moved everybody around. They plan to stay very basic. Their backs and receivers. One of the things you will notice here is that Eric Dickerson is missing from the starting lineup. Still bothered by that hamstring. When we talked to him, he said that he could play, may play some. When they go to 3 wide, the tight end will come out and Verdun will come in. So the Colts from their own 20-yard line come out with a play action and open up, going deep, and it is incomplete. Jesse Hester, the intended receiver. So bring it back to the 20. It will be 2nd down and 10. And the Jets defense, their front 7. The change that you will notice here is at left tackle, Paul Fraze, in place of Scott Mercereau, who is still bothered by the ankle problems. The secondary, Brim, Hasty, Washington, and Young. When they go to the nickel, 2 linebackers will come out. Odegaard and Coors come into that set. Eric Dickerson on the sideline. You do expect him to play, though, don't you, Todd?
Yeah, I think he might get in a little bit. It's a 2-week layoff, and I don't think he wants to come in 2 weeks from now not having played football in about 4 weeks. But by the way, I like that first play by the Colts. I like the fact that he took some chances and went up the field.
And George is sacked. Washington got him. That is the 24th time this year that Jeff George has been sacked that's most in the NFL.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He just barely gets back into his fifth step drop, and right on top of him is Washington.
And of course, we've mentioned the fact that changes in that offensive line. Kevin Call really at right tackle has been the only constant player. Everybody else moved around, and it's very difficult for an offensive line because it's such a coordinated unit.
Well, that's exactly right. You know, and how can you have continuity, as you mentioned, if they have 8 different offensive lines in 8 weeks? It just can't happen that way.
Pass complete outside. It'll take the ball out to the 21-yard line. It'll go for a gain of 11, but it'll be 4th down and 9. And so the Colts will kick it away. Ron Stark is the punter, and Terrence Mathis is the return man. Mathis, the return man for punts and kickoffs, but we may only see him today in the punt return mode, as Bruce Constant wants to rest him just a little bit, so he's getting bumped around quite a bit. Good kick. Taken at the 28-yard line, and he goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So the Jets on offense for the first time following that 51-yard kick and an 8-yard return, the offensive line. And the change there is Mike Haight. He's coming off of IR as Dave Cadigan is bothered by an injured ankle. Backs and receivers: O'Brien, Thomas, Baxter, Toon, Moore, and Dressel. Sometime in the game, we're going to see what they call the high 5, and that means that 2 running backs and a tight end come out. Mathis, Burkett, and Dawkins come out 5 wide receivers in that high 5 set. And the open up on the ground, this is Brad Baxter who gets the call, and he is cut down by John Hand. Well, look at that Colt defense, the front 7. The key here is number 54, Jeff Herrod. He is bothered by an ankle injury. The Colts like to keep him in on every defensive down. Their secondary, Good, Daniel Ball, and Taylor, and they go to the nickel. 2 linebackers and the strong safety come out. Grant Baylor and McLuhan come in. Second down. Toon has it. Backpedals out at the 44-yard line. And it will be 3rd down. Al Toon has now caught a pass in 84 consecutive games. Mickey Schuler has the team record of 86. So that's well within striking distance.
You say Al Toon has not been as productive as he has in the past, but Bruce Cosle's explanation for that is that we have more weapons. Don't look for Al Toon to get a 93-catch season anytime in the future because of the number of quality skill performers that they have.
3rd down and 4, just dumped over the middle, and this is Maddich.
Yes, indeed.
I was waiting on this, ladies and gentlemen. You will notice that this man went to BYU.
Yes,
wears number 46, is a tight end and also snaps. And whom does that remind you of?
Well, what's not to like? Here he's going to come out of tight end, but because he is Trevor Maddich, he's normally a tackle. Absolutely nobody bothers to guard him. It's a little hesitation route, and you notice with that speed, he's not going to make anybody forget Wesley Walker. But hey, number 46 catching passes. I love it.
You don't. The ball at the Colt 42-yard line, 1st down. The Jets converting on a 3rd down and 4 opportunity. This their opening offensive drive for New York after shutting down the Colts. Here's Blair Thomas. And he has 4 to the 38. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 as Dwayne Bickett makes the tackle.
You know, Trevor Maddich lined up there as the tight end on the other side. The reason he went to number 46, he was drafted originally some 8 years ago by the New England Patriots as a center in the 1st round. Now he is one of their most valuable players because on the depth chart we look, you have center, guard, tackle, and tight end. He also does the long snapping for both field goals and punts. This man is very versatile.
2nd and 6. Blair Thomas is finally taken down just inside the 35-yard line. Scott Radisek gets credit for the tackle. It'll go for 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Double team here. It's a sweep. They run behind Maddich again. I know I'm overusing it. What can I say? But the guy's playing well. Thomas cuts inside for about 5 yards. I know it is, but they're running behind him. They're showing that he can do some things. Because of the injury that they've had to Cadigan, they've had to make some adjustments of their own in the offensive line. Blair Thomas last week, not one of his better games. 9 carries for 9 yards against the Houston Oilers. Looking for him to rebound today.
4 wide receivers. Johnny Hector is in the backfield. And the pass complete to Mathis. And he turns on the speed, and the flag is down at the 29-yard line.
Charlie, this is going to come back. This is a pick play. Mathis waits to get picked by Altoon, and that's what the officials saw. This should be offensive interference against the Jets.
That happens more than it is called, though.
Well, again, in a lot of cases, you don't know whether or not it's intentional. You can see Costas' reaction. He knows that it is. It's actually called.
We have offensive pass interference number 88. 10-yard penalty, repeat to down.
In the offensive terminology, it is actually called pick. What you have is you have both wide receivers crossing underneath, and the hope is that one of the defenders gets caught up in the wash. A smart wide receiver does it to where he doesn't necessarily run into the guy, but he runs near him to avoid him. But in that case, if the seat sees the collision, the referee's going to call it every time.
3rd down and 13. Ken O'Brien is sacked, and make a note of that, because in games in which he is never sacked, the Jets are 7-0.
He's holding his ankle too, Charlie. He might be in some pain. Donnell Thompson gets a good rush from the left side of your screen. You're going to see him come in. Now, O'Brien isn't terribly mobile, and you can see right there at the last, he pulls on his ankle, and he might have got stuck in the AstroTurf, because O'Brien is struggling a little bit right now. He's having a hard time coming to his feet.
And that is only the 10th, 10th sack for the Colts this year. Back in a moment. Man, we've got flags down. And while we were away, Ken O'Brien, with that ankle problem, walked off of the field. But also on the sideline, Troy Taylor and Browning Nego were both listening up.
Number 95 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
That's on Troy Johnson, who's in on the kicking team, and we'll go back to the injury.
Take a look at the right foot right there underneath how it gets folded. You can see that that's an Achilles tendon, and Thompson fell right on top of it. That's the difficulty of the AstroTurf sometimes. Believe me, as a player, I can tell you, it just reaches up and grabs your foot. It has nothing. It does.
Like Velcro.
It does. Yeah, it's like the tiger paws. You know, the tires. You know, it just reaches up and grabs.
Good kick by Aggie. However, Dan takes it at the 11. Cuts back. He's to the 15. Stumbles. Regains his footing. Nice return. He goes out at the 26-yard line. There's a flag on the far side at the 18-yard line. 50 yards on the kick. It ended up as a 14-yard return. Was it Matic got him? He is everywhere.
Really?
Yes, he made the tackle.
Well, he snapped the punt, too.
Yeah. Well, he's a busy man.
I'm telling you.
The penalty will go against the Colts.
We have an illegal block in the back, number 56, on the return team, on the run back. 10-yard penalty.
One of the things that inevitably happens is that when the guy is going back and forth, that's all well and good for the fans, but the blocking is set up for a right return, and the minute he cuts back, and the blockers have to make the adjustment. In this case, he hits him in the back.
And as you saw, number 11 is Troy Taylor, the number 2 quarterback for the Jets. Browning Nagel is their number 3 quarterback, and he's taking some snaps on the far side. We have no score in the ballgame. Jim Clark carries. He's going to get a yard to the 10. And it'll be 2nd down and 9. And let's check out the 10-minute ticker. No score between Houston and Miami. No score Tampa Bay, New Orleans. The only no score Seattle, Pittsburgh, New England up in front of Minnesota by a score of 7-0. Hugh Millen pass to Greg McMurtry of 18 yards. Here we have no score between the Jets and the Colts. They'll mark it at the 11, so it is 2nd down and 8 for Indianapolis. Staying basic again, it is Ken Clark to the 14-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd down and 4. When we talk with the Colts, and when you talk with their offensive line, and we'll bring that up again because they've changed so many people back and forth, is that they just want to, in reality, stay so basic that they just block straight ahead and not do a lot of fancy things. And, of course, that opens up a lot of possibilities for the defense.
Well, I think that Pete Carroll, the defensive coordinator of the Jets, is conscious of that. As he mentioned to us yesterday, he's going to shift some things up. When Marvin Washington got the sack earlier, he's normally at a defensive end position. They put him down as defensive tackle to be over the inexperienced Schultz, and that's where he got the sack.
This is a screen being set up, a middle screen, and it's overthrown. Ken Clark, the intended receiver. George went back, and then he kind of spun away, tried to take everybody with him.
What he's trying to explain there when you saw him pointing was that Ken Clark, number 32, is supposed to go to the right. Now watch where all the blockers go out to the right, and Ken Clark goes to the left there in the middle of the field. That's what George is saying. My goodness, he said the screen passes to the right and you go into the middle. No way.
So it's 4th down, and Ron Stark will be kicking. Mathis is the return man. The report on Ken O'Brien is a sprained right ankle, and he should be able to return. Of course, we will find out momentarily when the Jets go back on offense. We have no score here. Another good kick. Mathis takes it at the 37. Pretty good return out to the 46, but there's a flag down at the 41-yard line. 43 yards on the kick by Stark, 9 yards on the return. Radisic with the tackle.
Both offenses look pretty sluggish early. A lot of mistakes, penalties.
And the penalty will go against the Jets. So they will not have the field position to start this drive.
We have an invalid fair catch signal, number 81 on the receiving team. Spot ball, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, it's funny. How could he be shading his eyes if it's indoors?
Yeah,
a lot of times that's what the returners will do, is they'll say, wait, he says, I can't see because of the sun.
We've got a timeout. No score. Back in a moment.
Freeze.
Welcome back to the Hoosier Dome. That is Ken O'Brien, the quarterback for the Jets. He's throwing on the sideline. The Jets gathered around their head coach, Bruce Koslet, during timeouts. So this is something that is being done more and more in the National Football League. Perhaps started in Cincinnati. And in reality, it started in a basketball game.
Well, that's interesting. I don't think it's so much throwing. I think they want to see if he can backpedal. But now take a look at the right arm of Terrence Mathis. Is that a fair catch? It looks to me like he's just trying to get his balance. Watch the right arm come up. Just trying to get his balance. But you can see right there, the official, 82, goes right for the flag, and he calls it. That was awfully close.
There is a change at quarterback. Troy Taylor is the quarterback. Now, Taylor thus far has completed 3 of 7 passes, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 6'4", 200 pounds, played his collegiate ball at Cal Berkeley, and taken in the 4th round of the draft last year.
Instant replay is reviewing where the spot of the fall was.
Well, we can help him out. We always like to help instant replay, don't we?
I'm glad you said that. Bruce Koslet has been very impressed with the intensity of the way his team has been playing. Now he's
complaining.
Now he's complaining to the official because the time clock is set at only 10 seconds. Now he's screaming.
Yeah.
Now it's down to 7 and counting, and they might not get it off.
Yes, now somebody picked it up. They were checking the spot, but the call here is on the play clock, which is now down to 3 seconds. And the raising the hand by the official is to reset it at 25, and that was the same signal that you saw from Bruce Koslet. So now we're ready to go. Jets at their own 36-yard line, no score. Troy Taylor is now the quarterback, and he hands off to Blair Thomas. And I would imagine with Troy Taylor and not that experience that the Jets now will have to simplify their offense.
Well, for one play, because now Ken O'Brien comes in.
Well, I'm glad that we got that statement in.
Good idea, though.
It goes for a gain of 3 at his 2nd down and 7. O'Brien back in at quarterback. Toon, and he has it at the 48-yard line on the far side. Eugene Daniel picked him up, and he'll pick up the first down and 9 yards along the way.
That was a very good catch. Eugene Daniel had some pretty good coverage. He actually had a hold of his left arm. This is just an out route. They have single coverage. Ken O'Brien picks that out too. Watch the left arm of Toon. Daniel actually has a piece of it, and Toon's able to catch it with just the one hand. There's an advantage to being 6'4". Keeps that big body in front of Eugene Daniel, who's got to be frustrated because that was pretty good coverage.
Al Toon now 2 receptions, 17 yards. Brad Baxter gets the call. And he goes to the Colt 47-yard line, so he'll pick up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 as Donnell Thompson makes the tackle. The 10-minute ticker, still no score between Houston and Miami. New Orleans leading Tampa Bay. Gil Finnerty has scored. Fumbles Finnerty. We had him earlier, and he does not like that nickname, but he has scored, and it's 7-0 in that ball game. We have no score here between the Jets and the Colts. 2nd down and 5. Little flea-flicker, and all alone deep is Al Toon. He got behind everyone. Oh, it's Rob Moore. Rob Moore. Did he slip by the secondary, just coasting along?
Up to this point, this hasn't exactly been a thrill a minute. It looks like a running play. Moore does a nice job of acting. Now, all of a sudden, he puts on the speed. It's a flea flicker. They made it look like when he was running, he went the wrong direction and cuts back. Moore was able to fool the free safety in that situation. The Jets do a nice job. Actually, the play was really made by Blair Thomas, making it look that it was going to be a sweep, circling back and then laterally the ball back to O'Brien. All Rob Moore had to do was catch the easy throw for the 6.
47-yard touchdown pass. The Jets move out in front. Pat Leahy will attempt the point after. And it is good. And the score, the Jets 7 and the Colts nothing, with 5:53 left to go in the first. Now out in front of the Indianapolis Colts by a score of 7-0 with 5:53. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. 47-yard touchdown pass, 64 yards in 4 plays, consuming just over 2 minutes. Aguiar of the Jets will be kicking off. Verdan is the deep back with Grant and McClellan off on the wings. Verdan will down it and will bring the ball out to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Johnny Hector is the one that really makes this happen. Most flea flickers, a guy just plows into the line and then laterals back. He gives the illusion of a sweep, cuts back against the grain. Now everybody's convinced it's a running play. There you can see Moore at the bottom of the screen. The free safety, in this case Keith Taylor, was absolutely fooled, and Moore is able to get the easy touchdown.
Moore played his high school ball at Hempstead for the Tigers, and he said one time he looked around, and in the Tiger uniform on the sideline was his mother. And he said, "Oh, Mom, is that you?" He couldn't believe it.
It's good support, though, huh?
It is. George Byers' pass is complete. First down of the ball game for the Colts. Pat Beats, the tight end, just coming back to action after injuries. Kelly and Clifton on the tackle.
There's a reason why the Colts are 0-7. They are last in all of these key categories: scoring defense, rushing defense, TDs allowed. And look at the bottom there. They have only scored 4 touchdowns in 7 games. You can see right there, those are the major reasons why the Indianapolis Colts are 0-7.
And they have not scored a touchdown in the last 12 quarters. And they have a first down at their own 34-yard line. They'll swing to the outside. A flag is down Clark on the receiving end. He's taken out of bounds. We'll check out the flag.
I was close to being a little bit late there by Clifton. Looked to me in the shuffle that the Jets might have been offside.
Jets are offside. For a team that is 0-7, a pretty good crowd here, but it is a very quiet, obviously.
We have offside on the defense, number 97.
It is Marvin Washington.
Repeat the down.
Well, they need something to cheer about, Charlie. You know, at the end of the play, it looked like looked to me like there's a little bit of a late hit. Take a look. Is he out of bounds here as he takes a shot right here? Bang.
I'm not sure. It's right on that sideline.
Yeah, only 3 yards.
That's close. First down, 5 yards to go for the Colts. Anthony Johnson, and he's going to pick up a couple. The ball will go out to about the 42-yard line, so it's going to be second down and 3. A reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award, which will be given to the game's most valuable player. In penalties, the Colts 1 time for 9 yards. That was on that return. The Jets have been penalized 4 times for 25 yards. Officially, they mark it second down and 2. And the second first down in the ball game for Indianapolis, and Anthony Johnson gets it.
Nice job on the left side of the line by Moss and Paris. And look at that. Johnson gets up, and he must have heard you talking. He just tries to get the crowd involved. Watch the left side of your line. Trap play. Moss does a nice job of knocking Lagerman completely down, enabling Johnson to cut up for about 6 yards in a first.
The crowd very important, particularly to a team at home that has not won a ball game.
Well, that's right, but they're just looking for a big play to get involved in it. If the Colts can go down and score in this series, the crowd will get involved.
George, pass complete to Johnson at the New York 45-yard line. Second down.
Now, Jeff George is on a pace to break the Colts single-season record for completion percentage, and right there is the reason. Sometimes that can be deceiving. He has completed over 65% of his passes, but his 2 leading receivers are running backs, and the reason for that is because the protection breaks down. They've been sacked the most of any team in the National Football League. 25 times Jeff George has been sacked, and so on. I asked Rick Ventura yesterday, are you going to have any 7-step drops today from the quarterback? He says, absolutely not.
And here is the draw with Johnson, and another first down. 3rd in this drive for Indianapolis. The ball at the New York 38-yard line.
Running game has gone a little bit more effectively than I think the Jets had imagined. A little bit of delay here to Johnson. He cuts up. Nice job on the interior of the line, and Clark does a good job blocking Clifton out of the way. Lonnie Young coming up to make the tackle, but not until the first down is made.
One of the reasons that George has been sacked so many times, he has been averaging just 2.1 seconds to get a pass off, and you need to be above 3 seconds to have any kind of a shot at all.
That's right. The average in the National Football League is around 3.5.
Johnson again. Close to the 33. It's going to be second down and about 5 to go. Brian Washington making the tackle along with Joe Kelly.
Charlie, when Rick Ventura took over as head coach, he decided to let the play calling go to Milt Jackson right there, the wide receiver coach. And I like what he's been doing in this series. The mixes of passes and runs have been very effective. Ventura, of course, retains the position that he had in calling the defenses for the Colts, but he realized that he was just overwhelmed in trying to do both, so he left the offensive side of it to Milt Jackson.
Second down. Little swing right side is Pat Beach, and he has it, and he is out of bounds at the 31-yard line, so he picks up 3, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3, and George is really nailed.
He took a good shot back there. Of course, when I mentioned the fact that a quarterback is most sacked in the league, obviously you say to yourself, okay, that's 24 times he gets hit. It isn't just 24 times that he gets hit. It's the number of times that he's got clobbered not going to the sack. And we'll be back right after this.
Went down. It looked at first as if maybe just hit the crazy bone. You know what that'll do on your elbow. Then when they were working on him on the sideline, they were up kind of loosening up the right shoulder, so that may be jammed just a little bit. Here's what happened.
You're going to see Dennis Byrd come in right at the end. Now watch the weight bearing bang right there on the shoulder. It goes from the elbow all the way up to the shoulder. And on the sidelines, that's what they were doing. He's got, that's kind of a stinger. Now, here's an interesting point right now. He's trotting back out to the field. He's going to go out for that play. When a guy comes off the field for an injury, which I believe that was in that case,
he took a timeout.
He's supposed to be out for one play.
He took a timeout. Remember, he rolled over, called the timeout.
Oh,
George called the timeout himself. So it's a charged timeout, not an injury timeout.
He can come back in.
Pass is complete. 24-yard line. He goes to Jesse Hester.
When I talked with Jesse Hester and Billy Brooks yesterday, I asked him, is it tough to stay interested? It's a good move. A little bit of a push up, but you get away with that. Nice throw by George. He says, is it tough to stay interested as a wide receiver when they're not getting the ball downfield to you? And he says, yes, it is, but I do understand that because of the offensive line problems, we're not going to get as many balls. And that's okay if we can just get on the winning track.
Third first down in this drive that started back at the Colts 20. Here's Anthony Johnson. And he is going to get a yard. That's going to be the end of that. It'll be 2nd down and 9. 10-minute ticker. Miami up 3 over Houston. The Saints lead Tampa Bay 7-0. Seattle by 3 over Pittsburgh. New England leading Minnesota 7-0. And here the Jets are in front of the Colts by a score of 7-0 with 16 seconds and counting. That is the time remaining in the first quarter. The Colts' third offensive opportunity. Their first 2 times they had the ball, it was 3 plays and out. They put together a pretty good drive here. Here's a blitz coming, and he has taken out nobody, but nobody picked up Kyle Clifton. And with that play, time runs out. That's the end of the first quarter. Jets lead it 7-0.
One man, and Clifton goes right over the hole where Paris was. Of course, his better days were as an offensive tackle with the San Francisco 49ers. This is only his 2nd game as an offensive guard, and obviously on that play, it showed his inexperience.
3rd and 17, the ball at the 32-yard line. This pass is complete. Good reception by Billy Brooks. And that will put the Colts well within field goal range. He goes to the 25-yard line. Lonnie Young made the stop.
That man right there is beleaguered. Every time he's fading back now, he has been hit every single time. You're right, that was a terrific catch by Brooks, and now it should enable Biasucci to get a little bit more within his range. He has hit a 54-yarder, but believe me, the kickers, it's much easier to hit 42, 43 than it is closer to 50.
Ron Stark is the holder. Just inside the 33. We'll call it a 43. Officially, they're going to mark it as a 42-yarder. And it is good with room. Believe me, lots of room to spare. And it's a 7-3 ball game. But that's the way that Jeff George holds it.
Like a split-fingered fastball, he's able to do this just like Terry Bradshaw, putting his finger on the point of the ball. There's no way I could do that. Look at how far down the laces. I've got to do it like this with my little hand.
And he puts the laces in the palm of his hand. Doesn't even bother with the laces.
Must be fun to have that big of a hand.
And here is A.B. Brown on the return for the New York Jets. You mentioned Terry Bradshaw. In fact, Jeff George, when he was in the 5th grade, saw a photo of Terry Bradshaw holding the football that way. And he said, now if I hold it, straight away on the laces, it just is a wounded duck. I can't do it any other way.
He said that's the only way he's ever done it, which surprises me because you think about it, and he must have had those big hands very, very early. Either that or he played with those peewee balls forever.
Or all the, can you imagine the coaches over the years that have tried to change that at Pop Warner level in junior high and high school? All right, here are the Jets. Good play action fake. Pass is complete to Rob Moore, who has scored the touchdown, and suddenly the Jets crank it up again inside the 45-yard line of the Colts in a gain of 27 yards.
This is a nice job, first of all, by Al Toon. Al Toon clears it out for him. And what that enables him to do is to have those extra moves. He was able to fool Good into thinking that he was going up, and that was kind of an in and up move, and he came back across. But Al Toon had already cleared out the free safety for him, so he was able to get in the middle of the field and make a big grab.
I told you about Rob Moore's mother in the Tiger uniform. He went back to watch his younger brother play. He went out as the water boy, took the water out on the field.
I like stories like that. People aren't caught up in themselves. That's great.
Pass is incomplete. And that is the first incompletion for Ken O'Brien. He is now 5 of 6, 105 yards and a touchdown.
This is the one bad throw. He throws it behind. He's got to give Toon a chance to catch the ball and cut up field. But when he throws it behind him, Toon's momentum is already leaning forward. He can't come back and make a catch.
Second down and 10. 13:07 time remaining in the first half. It's a 7-3 ball game. Jets lead. Here's Baxter. And he has 5 to the 40-yard line. Now let's check the ITT 10-minute ticker. Miami 3-0. New Orleans now 7-0 over Tampa Bay. As Morton Anderson hit a 32-yard field goal. Seattle up 10-0 over Pittsburgh. New England leads Minnesota in the second quarter. So there's an early upset possibility working. It's third down and 5. The score here, Jets 7 and Colts 3. New York with 4 wide receivers. Flag is down. This is Hector coming out of the backfield. If the play stands, he will pick up the first down. We'll go back to the marker at the 41-yard line. Eugene Daniel with the tackle.
Looked like John Hand might have been offsides. Started a little bit earlier. The Colts are coming with a blitz, but it was a little discombobulated. The timing was off.
Should just go ahead and refuse the penalty and take the first down.
Defense offside. Penalty declined. First down.
Kenny O'Brien did a nice job of getting rid of it. Just to the right of your screen, you can't quite see. John Hand is going to come up over the right tackle. You can't see it, but O'Brien does a nice job on the blitz pickup. Finds Hector out in the flat all by himself. This is actually a nice open field tackle there by Eugene Gooder. He could have gone the distance.
First down at the Indianapolis 33-yard line. Baxter, and a long flag comes in, lofted at the 10-yard line, settled in at the 30. A flag toss of almost 21 yards.
I had that one before, Charlie, when I was playing. That was a holding on the tight end. When it comes in from that far, the guy in center field saw the tight end pull somebody down. Much to my chagrin that I admit that.
Holding, number 84 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat the down.
So the ball goes back to the 43-yard line. It'll be first down and 20.
A little incidental here between Daniel and Rob Moore. Oh, yeah, you. Yeah, that's all part of it. That's part of it. No big deal.
You expect that, don't you?
Yeah.
O'Brien fires. The pass is complete. 25-yard line. And it is Al Toon who pulls in. Chris Good with the tackle. Rob Moore and Al Toon, that gives you a pair of really good receivers.
Well, it does, but you know, you can hear the audible groan by the people in the stands. Here you come back, you've got 2nd and 20, chance for a defensive stand, and then Toon comes up with a slant pattern for 18 yards. I mean, that's got to be disheartening to the defense of the Colts. I was going to say the rap that they've been giving Ken O'Brien prior to this game was the fact that he wasn't able to get in a big play. He had a 61% completion percentage, but no real big plays, and already he's had 2 or 3.
Moore and Toon combined 5 receptions for 109 yards. As a combination, Blair Thomas tries to pick up the first down. He's going to be in the neighborhood, maybe short.
And you know,
Thompson with the tackle.
Not that those guys aren't good players, but I'm surprised at the play calling by the Jets, because the Colts are last in the league in rush defense. Teams have been averaging 4.5 yards a carry against that defense. And I had anticipated the Jets were just going to come out here and try and run the ball, but they've surprised some people. Ken O'Brien, they have a different game plan than what we had anticipated. That Bruce Kozlov, man, he doesn't give away too many secrets.
Third down and 1. Baxter, and they may have to measure.
Nice play by Chip Banks coming off the block of the right tackle, but it looks like he might have gotten just enough. Chip Banks on the left of your screen, you're going to see is able to come off the block of Blair Thomas and make the tackle on Baxter. Chip Banks, a former Pro Bowler with the Cleveland Browns, 4 times made it to Hawaii. Now with his 3rd team, having gone from the San Diego Chargers to the Colts at age 32, still playing some pretty good football.
Going to be short.
Why do I always do that? I never, ever guess that right.
It's the angle.
Is that what it is?
No, but I give you an out.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You know how statistics can be misleading. Is that
you're not going to quote Mark Twain?
No, I'm just moving.
Okay,
I'm just moving right along.
Okay.
The Colts have the #1 pass defense in the entire National Football League, and the reason that they have it is because their run defense is so bad. Nobody thinks what you were talking about. Nobody throws because your opponent's been averaging 36 running plays versus 19 passing plays. They simply haven't thrown at them.
Yeah, opponents have a league-high 250 rushes against the Colts. There's really no need to pass, so that is a deceptive figure.
Well, now the crowd is getting into it. 4th down and inches. First down. Baxter got it. Back to the playbook for the head coach, Wisconsin. Saragusa with the tackle. That was the 18-yard line.
It was interesting when they panned the face of Bruce Coslett. He was very implacable. His attitude, I'm sure, thinking was, look, if we can't get 2 inches, then we don't deserve this. Do a nice job on the left side of the line clearing out. Baxter, at 235 pounds, refuses to be stopped at the line of scrimmage and gets much more than they needed for the first.
Jets lead at 7-3 with 9:13 time remaining first half. This is what they've done in the red zone. And we got whistles and flags.
False start. Number 72 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
That's Brett Miller. He was a Plan B player signed a year ago. It was with San Diego.
Is there any chance, as you see him move right there, that's a given. Is there any chance that you and I could come up with another term for that inside the 20? I'm getting tired of that red zone.
You don't like red zone?
No, I don't.
I thought it should be green zone. That's the money zone.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I do.
No, I do. I do. You know, call it money. Like the basketball players do when a guy makes a shot. It's money.
Pass is complete at the 15-yard line to Rob Moore. And Moore very slow getting up.
Kenny O'Brien, when he rolled to the left, had a lot of money. A lot of turf to work with. Sorry about that. Rob Moore able to maneuver because of the fact that he has all that extra time. Good, just a little bit too late coming up, but he makes a nice tackle there. Thank goodness for those tackified gloves. He's able to pull the jersey down. Rob Moore having a field there. I think he's over 100 yards now, isn't he?
10th play of the drive. We will check that total.
Well, 82.
He's well within range there.
Think of that.
And has a lot of time still to go. At the 5-yard line. This time it is Al Toon. It's almost as if Ken O'Brien is going Toon, more, Toon, more.
Well, you know what?
I like that.
Well, Eugene Daniel, you're inside the 20. How can you look at this? This is almost an 8-yard gap. How can you give him that much of a gap when you're inside the 20-yard line? That's just poor coverage. There's no way you can give him that much of a cushion. You have to play up on him because the end zone's your friend inside the 20. I mean, that's the very reason when you are in the money zone, thank you, Charlie, that you have to play a little bit closer, and the difficulty of scoring is because the field is limited.
We're now at the 3-yard line. It is first down, and number 46, Trevor Madditz, comes in.
Yes.
And he is the tight end on the right side. And they run to his side. It is Baxter. And he is stopped just outside the 1-yard line. Will be second down and goal to go.
Jeff Harrod in on the tackle. Rick Venturi said that they were a completely different defense with him on the field. Last week, because of a sprained ankle, he didn't play. And, of course, the Buffalo Bills ran roughshod over the Colts for 276 yards. This man had been averaging close to 17 tackles a game. And now, with him back, they feel like they have somebody competent in the middle that can help them stop the run. And thus far, I think they've done a pretty good job against the run.
Second down, goal to go. Play action fake. Here is a reverse to Burkett. And he has to battle his way for a loss. Surprised by that kind of a call. That play just takes so long to develop at the 1-yard line.
I don't understand that call by Bruce Coslett at all. I mean, they've been plowing into the line on 4th and 1 in the middle of the field. They're able to get 7 yards. They have 1st and goal at the 3. They plunge forward for 2.5 yards. I don't know what Bruce is thinking. They're going with the reverse.
Maybe a fun play.
Oh, he's trying. Yeah, he's trying a little bit too hard. I'm sure right now he definitely regrets that.
Well, they're still at the 3-yard line. 3rd down goal to go.
But when you got a 235-pounder in Baxter in the backfield, why not use them?
High five. 5 wide receivers for the Jets. And it is incomplete.
Uh-oh. Flag came in completely from the corner of the end zone. Now, if he's going to call interference here, I'm not going to like this because that's not his call. The call for interference is in the middle of the field by the official underneath the goalpost. The other thing to consider here is, was the ball tipped? And you can see Rick Venturi isn't very happy about it, and he's making a motion right there. He says he feels the ball was tipped too.
And he doesn't even know yet if it's against him.
Oh, yeah, he does.
It is against the Colts.
I don't like this call at all.
Well, let's wait and see. We'll have a chance to look at it.
Well, I saw it live, man. I don't like the call. I don't have to wait for the replay.
Well, maybe we'll start looking at the replays. We always like to help out.
Okay, good point.
We have defensive pass interference in the end zone. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line, first off.
And they don't say who it is on. Now, if it's going to be pass interference, you got to say who it's on. Now,
I agree. Now, watch in the middle of the field. Does the ball get tipped by Ken O'Brien? You're going to see from the right side of your screen, Daniel comes on the blitz. Yes, right there. He gets a piece of it.
Tipped, yes.
The ball is tipped.
Ball.
So it's no count right there. I'm
Everybody
sure
for themselves.
They saw McLuhan cutting in front. They have to see the replay that the ball was tipped. And that way it throws it out. Now I think that's what they're going to review, is whether or not the ball was touched. And that's what Rick Venturi is upset about.
Yeah.
The very thing he came out is he started clapping his hands like this. Yeah. What am I doing clapping my hands? Nobody can see me.
I can. I can see. I know exactly what you're doing.
That's exactly what he was doing when it went on the field.
Yeah. The interesting thing, though, does this fall within the purview of the replay official? I know the parameters keep expanding and expanding.
Oh, watch right here.
It is. Right of the screen.
John Baylor is the one coming on the blitz, and he does right there. That's why the ball comes wobbling.
Yeah. And once the ball has been tipped by a defender, it's every
free game.
Free game.
So now in the middle of the screen, you'll see McLuhan. He's going to have some incidental contact, and even if the ball was tipped, I'm not sure I'd call this. Watch 42 come in the middle. He dives like this. I don't like that, especially considering now.
After further review, the play stands as called.
No, that's not good. Then from the back of the end zone, what happened is the call is made by the official in the corner of the end zone, not underneath the goalpost.
18 seconds on the 45-25. 18 seconds.
Rick Venturi has every reason to be upset.
We're going to put 18 seconds back on the 45-25 clock. Ball is spotted at the 1. It's first down goal to go. Flag is down as Johnny Hector went over the top. Illegal motion called against the Jets.
The official threw that right away. He must have seen something in the interior line.
Illegal motion, number 29 on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
That's on A.B. Brown.
This is the first game A.B. Brown has played in close to a year with the knee surgery. Watch number 29 leaning forward right there. Good call by the official. Saw it right away.
13th play of the drive. The ball at the 6-yard line. The down goes the first go. It's the 13th play of the drive for the 3rd time, actually.
Now, what is this discussion?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps they're checking their flights.
Please put 6:12 on the game clock. 6:12.
6:12 on the game clock.
I can understand that. It's
6:11.
Got to get that rectified. At the 6-yard line, first down. Jets lead 7-3. This drive has consumed more than 8 minutes. 8:05 in this drive. Baxter, 3-yard line. It is second down and goal to go.
Now, if I'm Bruce Coslett in this situation, I know that I've got 3 more chances on the 3-yard line.
And you're going to run Baxter 3 more times.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
You're not going to do those fancy reverses.
And make them stop me.
What about your high five? You like that? Want to see that formation
Inside
again?
the 5-yard line? I don't think so. The only thing I got was a cheap penalty.
You have to be creative.
There you can see right there, time of possession by the Jets, second in the National Football League. They do a good job of holding on to the football.
Baxter cut down at the 1-yard line.
Think you heard me?
John Hand got him. It's now third down and goal to go at the 1. Trevor Maddich checks into that offensive set. And usually when he has come in short yardage, they go to his side.
Well, guys with the number 46 are notoriously powerful blockers. What was that? What's that laugh?
You destroyed my train of thought. He's the tight end on the right side. And Baxter is going to be turned away short of the goal. It is going to be fourth down, goal to go, and inches. And the crowd becoming, with each play of this drive, more and more enthusiastic about their defense.
Well, they got one more try with it. They should do it again.
Does Cossack go for the field goal?
Absolutely not. You got to go for it here. This is a nice job by the interior. Watch Jeff Harrod in the middle right there, stacking things up. Good play there by Chip Banks as well.
And now another conference between 2 of the officials. Here's the referee.
The play was ruled dead at the 6-inch line. It is being reviewed.
Oh, brother. Man,
I didn't even think it was close.
There have been more caucuses today than Geneva. I don't understand this.
Where are we? 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the second quarter. The score, the Jets 7, the Colts 3. This is that last play.
Now he stopped right there. It's over. His forward motion is done right there.
Well, from that angle, you're going to have a tough time reviewing anything.
Yeah, but still the point is the guy runs in and says it's not a touchdown. Why are we doing this?
This is down the line. Well, we're killing time while the officials look at it.
Killing time?
Yeah.
Killing?
This is called vamping. How about vamping?
Abusing. I mean, we're just...
Will the timer please put 20 seconds on a 45-25 game clock?
He stopped him on both replays.
You know, from a human interest standpoint, you have to like what the Colts are doing here.
Oh, yeah.
They're 0-7. You know, got nothing to lose. Worst run defense in the league, and here they've stuffed them inside the 5. Not once, but twice in 2 different series.
Touchdown, Jets. Baxter got it.
Well,
what is it? What is it? Huh?
No, I'm just going to say, to ruin an old adage, 4th time's the charm. I mentioned that why not give it to Baxter, go with your big, heavy guy and see what he can do. And on the 4th time, he's able to get it in. But still, let's not belittle the fact that the Colts did an outstanding job on at least, what, 8, 9 plays inside the 5-yard line?
We'll go back and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 plays. Yeah. 9 plays inside the 7. And the extra point is good. The score now, the Jets 14, the Colts 3. Back to the kickoff in a moment. This is Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen as we come inside the Hoosier Dome with 4:09 to go in the first half. Jets lead it 14-3. Aguiar will kick off, and Clarence Verdun is the deep back on the return with Grant and McClellan off on the wing. Dangerous on the kickoff return. And he is collared and pulled down around the 18-yard line by Bobby Houston. So we'll step aside and be right back. Darrell Lewis scored on an interception return for Houston. They're now in front of Miami 7-3. New Orleans still shutting out Tampa Bay 13-0. Seattle shutting out Pittsburgh. And New England in front of Minnesota 14-7, so that upset is still in the works. Jets 14, Colts 3. the score here in the Hoosier Dome. The Colts have the ball with 4 minutes to go in the first half at their own 18-yard line. As Brooks comes wide to this side and Hester wide to the far side. Got George, pretty good protection. Fires pass is complete to Clark. And he is out at the 24-yard line, so he has 6. It'll be second down and 4. Now it's time for our Xerox Sports Facts. This is one to play with. Who was the only Unitas ever drafted by the Colts? That's really a good one.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, sorry. No, it is. It is.
It is a good one. It is an interesting one. And we have photo proof.
Yes, we do.
Second down and 4. Clark across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And I know you cannot wait for the answer of our Xerox Sports Facts, so we'll go right back to it. The question again, who was the only Unitas, notice how cleverly we left off the first name, ever drafted by the Colts? And the answer is Joe Unitas, 1957. Let's say 26 or 28. My eyes are not that good.
26.
26 round pick. Offensive tackle and the brother of old number
Frank?
19.
Frank Unitas? Oh. Okay.
Here is Ken Clark. Clark breaks it to the 50. And then is bumped out by Brian Washington, who saved the touchdown. And the Colts are alive, not necessarily well, but they are fighting back. 24 yards.
You know, Dickerson might want to reconsider playing in this game the way the offensive line is blocking for Ken Clark. He bursts into the open, and as you say, Washington saves a touchdown. The Colts have been running remarkably well here in the first half.
First down, Jets 44.
What's impressive about that statistic right there, you say to yourself, big deal, 4 for 36. The Colts have averaged in the first 7 games only 51.7 yards per game. So they're already way ahead of that.
And we're coming up on the 2-minute warning. There's George Campbell. Throws. Pass is complete to Bill Brooks. He goes out at the 41-yard line. That stops the clock. We'll go to New York for an update. Bob Costas.
Well, the Steelers came back on Monday night, Charlie, before losing to the Giants. They'll have to come back today. They're down 10-0 at home against Seattle after this 1-yard touchdown run by John L. Williams. John Casey earlier had a 36-yard field goal. It's the Seahawks, 10-0.
And just as a program note, many of you next week will see the Seahawks at home as they host San Diego on NBC. 2-minute warning. We'll be back in a moment. With 2 minutes to go in the first half, Jets in front of the Colts 14-3. And the Colts started this drive at their own 18-yard line, have moved to the 41-yard line of New York, where it is second down and 7. Second time in the ball game that the Colts have put together a pretty good drive. First one led to the successful field goal. And here is Ken Clark, and he is going to lose a yard, maybe a little bit more on the play. It'll be third down as Hasty was there. Be sure to be with us at halftime for NFL Live. Domino's Pizza will be bringing it to you. Of course, O.J. and Bill Parcells are making that an exciting show. Today's headlines: Bobby Humphrey, my holdout didn't gain anything. Parcells, linemen and linebackers make NFC dominant. And the NFL wants a statement from Andre Water. I'm not sure that NFC is dominant with Houston, Buffalo, and now the Kansas City Chiefs coming on strong. I think 3 of the top teams are in the AFC.
I would agree. And the whole thing is cyclical anyway.
That mean comes around?
I think so, yeah.
Third down. It is to Brooks, and he has it in a first down.
And Charlie, with that catch, Billy Brooks, normally I'm not much for team statistics, but I had to bring this one up. Billy Brooks just passed the great John Mackey in all-time receiving for Colt receivers. I mean, that's just tremendous. Somebody who should be in the Hall of Fame. Billy Brooks should be proud. He just passed a great one.
And the Colts take a timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
And the Dolphins. Marino and Moon have each been intercepted 3 times. This is Darrell Lewis of the Oilers bringing it back 33 yards off the pickoff against Marino. Oilers 7, Dolphins 3.
All right, thank you, Bob. Here the score, the Jets 14, the Colts 3. And the Colts at the 26-yard line of the Jets with 56 seconds left to go in the first half. And the Colts looking a lot better than they have the last 2 or 3 weeks because we looked at those tapes.
Yeah, last week against Buffalo, they're absolutely horrendous. You know, they are looking pretty good today, and they're going awful long ways. If they can get 7 here, they could change the momentum of the game.
They look more organized, more as if they are taking part in the game itself. As Anthony Johnson is pushed all the way back.
Now, the referee should be stopping the clock here. The Jets took advantage of that, and the referee right now should stop the clock and get them back because that just cost them about 6-7 seconds as the clock is running now 35 and counting.
3 to the 23, second down and 7. George's good protection, rolls out, throws, and it is incomplete. A little behind Johnson.
Well, you can see the inexperience of the Colts in the 2-minute offense. It's not as if they've had too many opportunities to use it because they've been behind so often. He rolls out and he's going to throw the ball just a little bit behind Johnson. Johnson coming towards him, but there he throws it just a little bit behind. Only would have been about a 5-yard gain anyway. Anthony Johnson has been their leading receiver coming into this game with 38 grabs. Unfortunately, it's been for less than 7 yards a catch.
Third down. Juggled, held, and then Anthony Johnson came behind the marker. So when he was juggling it, he stepped back and may have lost any opportunity to pick up a first down. Timeout. Back in a moment.
It's amazing when you look at that, of the 30 quarters that they have played, 27 of them have gone without touchdowns. That's an amazing statistic.
Biasucci hits from 34 yards away. It's 14-6. Back for the kickoff.
This is a commercial for this clever little pull.
9 seconds left to go in the first half. 14-6 with Dale Dawkins and A.B. Brown as the return men. And Dean Biasucci will be kicking off for the Colts.
Now, will we see the infamous squib kick here?
I would guess so, because in the last 2 minutes of each half on a kickoff, the clock does not start until the ball is touched in the field of play. They want it touched. They want that clock to start and to run off as much time as possible. Good call. Clock now has started, and the ball is immediately down.
Now, see, if the Colts were smart, they wanted to run off the half. They wouldn't have touched it.
That's Pat Kelly. Clock is stopped on the change of possession now with 5 seconds, and of course, be sure to stay with us at halftime. Domino's Pizza will present the program from New York, headed by Bob Costas, Will McDonough, Bill Parcells, O.J. Simpson, and the Jets will just run it out here at halftime. And that makes it official. New York is leading 14-6 at halftime.
Well, I like the way the Colts have played. As we mentioned at 0-7, you know, they came in here with not a whole lot to lose, and they've been very competitive. I think they're going to do it in the second half as well.
Could be a pretty good second half. So stay with us right now. Let's go to New York City and